Conflict looms over funding for subway extension. Mr. Ford and others on council made it clear Tuesday that support for hiking taxes to pay for subways is lukewarm at best. The mayor was beaming as he alluded to the role played by a past fishing trip with Stephen Harper and his good working relationship with the Prime Minister and Minister of Finance in snagging the federal cash. Isn't that wonderful? That's the way that these projects are being funded.
Councillor Iannicca.
Thank you. I just wanted to follow up on the mayor's point. I didn't think I would, but Madam Mayor, we're at our wit's end. I don't know if I should just start beating my head against the wall, because a lot of literature's been, and a lot of radio shows, whatnot, with regards to the Scarborough funding. And Madam Mayor, you don't stand taller by stepping on others. I understand that. It's a good day for Scarborough. I understand that. But boy, when you listen to the rhetoric of the provinces and the federal government, it's Mark Road, places to grow, intensification, what we need. And I've said before and I'll say again, my ward and the LRT line along Highway 10 is the poster child for it. We've played ball. We've aligned the official plan, the secondary plan. As we speak in Ward 7, notwithstanding the 35,000 homes I have, the 88,000 people I have London, Ontario, I have Brantford, Ontario, in my little ward, and I don't complain about it. I have 12,000 units, not proposed in a plan, but in plans that are coming in the door in applications. Between Rogers and Carrabba, the marvelous redevelopment that's going to take place on Elm Drive next to the old Adult Learning Center. I haven't even started on Highway 5 and 10 yet, where people are buying up land in earnest and saying it's ripe for redevelopment. Madam Mayor, I welcome it. If I have to accept that there's smart growth places to grow and the OMB, we're putting it there. Then I find out that with all this development, I'm going to have more development in the next 3 or 4 or 5 years than Scarborough's going to have in the next 30. But I'm fed up with the arguments, so I'm going to fall back on something my parents taught me a long time ago. And it's a terrible phrase that's come into the Italian vernacular. It is, non c'è più vergogna. There's no more shame in the world. So I've used all the logical arguments with our provincial federal friends. I'm going to use shame now. So forget all of the planning arguments, all of the land use arguments, all of the logical arguments, all of the facts that we're following everything you've told us to do. Out of shame alone, if you're going to give Scarborough all this money, just out of shame, don't you have to show up here the next day and fund our LRT? Just out of shame. Like, do they have mirrors in your house? Don't you wake up in the morning, look at yourself and say, this is shameful. And I hate to bring it to that level, Madam Mayor, but you're right, all of the literature as well as it really needed, and it should be an LRT, by the way. Just like ours should be an LRT, because that is the logical progression. It costs 7 to 8 times less to run. Madam Mayor, that's been lost in all this debate as well, typical of the provincial federal. Well, we'll look like heroes, we'll cut you the big check during an election year when we get a photo op, then they walk away. These things cost a fortune to operate, but that's going to fall back to us. In a best case scenario, you collect 60 cents on the dollar to operate. So what they give us over the life of the system is a pittance. We know that, they know that. But out of shame alone, shouldn't you step up? Or Madam Mayor, I've said it, and I say it logically. Otherwise, I have to freeze all development in my ward, because we're not stupid. It's predicated on all these plans. So Madam Mayor, we've been patient. I would have thought that by now in the fall, we would have had an announcement at Highway 5 and 10 and along the quarter, an unusual announcement, Madam Mayor, where it's a ribbon cutting, and my constituents and you and I will be throwing rose petals in front of the Premier and the Prime Minister. Everybody's on board. And it wouldn't be the rhetoric that you're reading in the press, but that they're willing to go ahead with, and the logical ones that scream out that these folks are the Hazel, Nando, this council, my constituents. You're the poster child for everything that's right and how we should be developing and preserving residential. We do everything right. To what end? So Madam Mayor, out of shame alone, I hate to bring it down to that, out of shame alone, when do we get our check, Madam Mayor? And we'll still have the parade for you, and I'll still cut the ribbon, and we'll throw rose petals at your feet. And you will have done the right thing. Just once, do the right thing on this file. And Madam Mayor, I say that on the back of another committee to discuss how we're going to fund it. And I've looked at, I thank the people that are sitting on the committee, I don't know that many of them, their forte is understanding transit funding or government funding. I'll just say that as well. When I looked at who actually sits on the committee, oh my gosh. So Madam, I'll leave it at that, because I'm getting fed up listening to myself on the file. I can imagine I wasn't all in favor. But it's time.
We would never get fed up listening to you.
Madam Mayor, thank you, Madam.
Councillor Crombie.
Just on the same issue, Madam Mayor, I tweeted